Okay. Uh, the Pentagon is doing its job of disrupting China's supply chains. So, as I have on my pinned tweet, there is no more Pax Americana. It's now Discordia Americana. The Pentagon are the disruptors, not the defenders, not the builders. So this is about Nexperia, the Dutch company which was taken over by the Pentagon today, or I think yesterday or today, I don't remember. But there is a wider story to this that has peaked or maybe has reached a higher level to seizing companies away from China as far as Nexperia in the Netherlands. So the wider story is that between 2013 and 2015, the Pentagon, by approval of the Senate, rewired the entire command chain. So the reason was because Obama wanted the Pentagon to fight against the conservatives via his woke ideology, did not want the Pentagon to get involved any longer with defending the global supply chains because the euro-dollar system, they know they had the dollar. Uh, Fast forward, we have now Trump doing exactly as Obama, but on the opposite way, that they want the military. Trump wants the military, and he said that clearly to war against the Democrats via the MAGA ideology, which is the opposite of the woke ideology, according to Trump. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that for Obama, the conservatives were the enemy. For Trump, the Democrats are the enemy. In both cases, both Obama and Trump, they are uninterested in in defending the global supply chains. They just they are very inward looking and isolationists. So what happened as a reaction in it took 2 years, but the entire chain of command was rewired. The Pentagon's attaches around the world in the embassies became direct interlocutors with the allies and with the governments, as opposed to the ambassadors, which who speak in the name of the State Department. So, as of that period, we have in effect a parallel diplomatic and decision-making network, as opposed to the White House executive branch. So there are two parallel networks: the White House network via the State Department and via the ambassadors, and the Pentagon's network, or rather the Senate slash Pentagon network, via the military attaches globally. What so the uh, In the case of specifically Netherlands, very important that the Pentagon took over of the ASML, the other lithographic company in the Netherlands. And the funny thing about it is that the Dutch government didn't even know about it. So the Dutch government learned about the importance of ASML only after the Pentagon banned or took control of it by banning they banned something. I don't remember exactly. I have to look it up. From the export, I think, of the lithographic machines to China, something like I'm not really, I can't remember exactly, but that's what they did, and the Dutch government was surprised. Whoa, ASML is an important company. We did not know that, and they started paying attention to that company at the time. Uh, Fast forward now, we have right now, same as Obama. Obama was cooperating with Medvedev and Xi Jinping against the deep state. And right now, Trump is openly begging Putin and Xi Jinping to cooperate with him, against the deep state. I mean, he writes that on his Truth Social posts. So what actually happened was that about 3 months ago, CCP Beijing gave order to all Chinese companies in Europe to replace 100% of their European management with Chinese management coming from China. So there have been in the last 3 months, I think, or even 6 months, many Chinese managers from China who have never ever been out of China. Actually, people who have never ever been out of China being parachuted into the boards of major Chinese companies in Europe, pushing out the European management. Right. But there is one thing you do that for a tire company in Hungary, and there is another thing that when you do that for a company like Nexperia, which basically what they did for Nexperia, they removed the European management, and they replaced it with the Chinese management from China, which means that the Pentagon lost access to Nexperia entirely. Whereas all the European companies, all the Western companies in China are controlled by the CCP. So CCP has direct access to their management. In this case, CCP no longer wants the Europeans and the Pentagon to have access to Chinese companies in Europe. So again, as I said, a tire company somewhere is one thing. A company like Nexperia is another thing. It's a very, very important company. Because what do you do? The Pentagon is now obligated to take it over by force, by force of law, via the Dutch government. You see, they did that when Trump now is in Israel. So Trump would be somehow disempowered to sabotage that move. It's very, very, very interesting that the takeover from the Pentagon via the Dutch government of Nexperia occurs at the same time with the visit of Trump in Israel, taking credit for a fake peace deal. So this is the crux of it. This is what's happening. We have a further escalation right now done by the deep state, by the Pentagon, and by the Senate, who are warring against putting a Xi Jinping on one side and Trump MAGA on the other, and Trump Bannon on the other side. So there is a civil war in Washington D.C. and there is a global war of supply chains, and this is where we're at right now. It is what it is. And as usual, everything is bad. Everything will get worse. No light at the end of the tunnel. Have no hope, and the worst is yet to come. You have a fantastic day. Fantastic day.